Celebrities have been part of society since societies began. But thanks to social media, the criteria for who can become a celebrity has drastically changed. We've gone from fanning out over rock stars to social media stars. So why do we feel so connected to average people we don't even know, spending hours scrolling through the digital lives of strangers? Why are we so obsessed with celebrities?
As humans, all of us want to feel part of something bigger than ourselves.
This is Zoe fraade-blanar. She co-authored the book Super Fandom and teaches a course on internet celebrity at NYU. Zoe says our need for celebrity goes back to the dawn of civilization.
Organized religion uses the same parts of our brain that celebrity worship does. In fact, we even use a lot of the same terminology for loving a celebrity as we do for religion. Things like worship, evangelizing, taking pilgrimages.
Which makes sense because
when we feel like we're part of a group, when we feel accepted, when we feel like we're abiding by the social norms of that group, we feel good. It literally floods our brains with dopamine, the happiness chemical. It's actually a feeling very similar to taking heroin.
But as organized religion has declined,
these questions don't go away once we become a more sophisticated society. Who am I? Where do I belong? What can I do to succeed? We still want to know.
So we turn to celebrities.
We find people we want to be like, and we follow them in order to copy their mannerisms, their clothes, their lifestyles, because we think they're cool people, right?
Right. This is what experts call a parasocial relationship, the feeling of familiarity and comfort you develop for a celebrity you don't really even know. And as technology has changed, our parasocial relationships with celebrities have become more intense.
When you find your person that you just like to listen to and you feel like is kind of giving you your spiritual guidance, maybe that comes from the traditional church system, or maybe it comes from a 15-year-old YouTube blogger.
This is our colleague, Todd Van Luling. He's a senior reporter covering pop culture.
For forever, as long as we've had celebrities, we've kind of expected them to have a role model, moral high ground to them. Now that we have these teens becoming very famous very quickly on YouTube and Instagram and other forms of social media, if they're getting all this popularity for being kind of young and creatively ridiculous, like they're going to get into some pretty morally shaky places.
But that wasn't always the case.
Traditionally, celebrities were picked by gatekeepers. It was editors, it was producers.
It was the people who held the keys to the means of production. The people who owned the printing presses, who had the TV shows. They're the ones who got to decide who
was and wasn't worthy of celebrity.
But with the rise of the internet,
all of a sudden, everyone has their own printing press. Everyone has their own TV show.
Or their own YouTube channel.
I'm Avielle Moore, and I am a digital media strategist. I use my knowledge and network to strategize authentic advertisement for my personal brand and for others.
Avielle is part of the new generation of online influencers, molding a new version of celebrity on their own terms.
Now with social media and the access to everyone of this opportunity of becoming famous or a celebrity, it's refreshing because that also allows people to be more authentic because there's no red tape on what it is that you can really say or do.
Since she became a YouTube influencer, Avielle's channel has gained over 100,000 followers.
I've really been growing my community this year, and this is through common interest. People know what my favorite artist, who my favorite artist is. All of these women, they know me and we've grown together.
So when we hear parasocial relationships, these relationships that are strictly one-sided, it sounds a little creepy almost.
But pretending to be friends with a famous person is actually good for you, because from a neurological point of view,
our brain can't tell the difference.
Your brain doesn't know that they don't know you. So a one-sided parasocial relationship
actually works out to dispel those feelings of loneliness, to give us that feeling of community that we're looking for, and it does do it successfully. People who are into celebrities are less lonely, they're less depressed, they are healthier overall.
Of course, internet celebrity isn't for the faint of heart.
It really affects how you move when you start realizing people know you and you don't know them. I've had times where people would pop up where I'm at. I'm not showing addresses or anything like that because I had someone on my Insta story say, oh, you get off on that stop, you say you're about to go home, so I know what area you live in. People don't know the power of like what they're dealing with in there. So your phone is so powerful. You have the world in your pocket. You have the world in your hand. And anyone can access you at any time if they want to.
So Aviel, would you recommend being an online influencer?
Yeah, if you want to, if you have your sanity, you know, and you know who you are and before you get into it. Because if you don't remind yourself of who you are, the world will.